Been living over here for so many years, but I never heard of nothing like that happen before, and it's just like, it's really scary.
Scared and speaking out, police haven't caught the person or people responsible for sexually assaulting people on Buffalo's east side, and tonight people there say they don't feel safe. Also, a major drug bust, how authorities were able to interfere and arrest 3 men.
I find a lot of this offensive when you talk about us pushing back on something that doesn't exist.
And defending the White House, the Trump administration continues to deny reports of ties to Russia. We're breaking down the latest details tonight. We begin at 10 with a live look over downtown Buffalo. We have been really spoiled. Reality will set in this weekend. Good evening, everybody. Good Friday evening to you. Andrew's tracking the changes. Andrew, what should we expect tomorrow?
It's going to be a mess out there, at least in the morning. A cold front's going to move through, and that's going to bring an end to this unseasonably warm week and a return of winter. But before we get to the return of winter, thunderstorms, strong winds going to be rolling on through. Now, we have a lot of fuel for some stronger thunderstorms with all the warmth and humidity in place across the Midwest and the Northeast. And it was a record-breaking day in Buffalo. We hit 71 degrees, shattering the record for this date that was stood over 100 years. The last time 67 back in 1906. Also tying an all-time February record for Buffalo. Last time we hit 71 was back in 2000 on February 26. Well, temperatures right now cooled off a little bit, especially across the Niagara frontier. 50 right now in Buffalo, 46 at the Falls. Still holding on to some 60s south of the city. Now here's that cold front. We actually have a few showers and thunderstorms out ahead of it across mid-Ohio. The cold front still draped back across Michigan. So these showers and storms will be arriving overnight into early tomorrow. They're already showing up on our radar with a lot of lightning heading through Ontario just north of Long Point right now. That, again, will be holding off until early tomorrow morning. We also have wind advisories for much of western New York, all of our area with the exception of Cattaraugus and Allegheny counties. Those start at 10 a.m. We can see wind gusts upwards of 40 to even 50 miles per hour. Very mild out there still this evening. Temperatures could actually rise a bit overnight into the 50s and 60s, but the clouds and breeze pick up. The thunderstorms arrive early tomorrow morning. Coming up in my full forecast, we'll show you the models, time it all out for you, actually talking about a little bit of snow to end the weekend as well.
We are following 2 developing stories tonight, both on Buffalo's east side. A shooting and a police investigation into reported sexual assaults. No arrests have been made in either case, and the community is on edge heading into this weekend. We begin with the investigation into 3 sexual assaults reported on Buffalo's east side. They happened earlier this week and one earlier this month, but police just told us about this today. Detectives are interviewing witnesses. News 4's Rachel Monjovi has reaction from some women living on the east side. Rachel?
Yeah, Nalina, police will have extra patrols out on the east side because of this. Investigators are looking into whether the incidents can be linked to the same suspect.
I've been living over here for so many years, but I never heard of nothing like that happen before, and it's just like, it's really scary.
People living on the east side are speaking out, but are afraid to show their faces on TV because of what happened. Buffalo police say 2 women were sexually assaulted this week.
Scary because I actually have 4 girls, and they older, and I let them walk to the store.
Detectives say the first assault happened Tuesday night on Curtis Street. We're told a teenage girl was walking home around 8 p.m. when the suspect approached her and sexually assaulted her. 5.5 hours later, police say a woman in her mid-30s was sexually assaulted near Broadway.
In both instances, both victims describe a similar person, and both victims were alone.
Police say the suspect was armed with a knife both times. All police know about the suspect is that he's a black man, possibly in his mid-20s, wearing dark clothing. Police say the 2 cases may be related. Women living in the area say they're concerned for themselves and younger girls.
I have a lot of little sisters that live over here, and it's a lot of little kids, and it's a lot of females and women that live in this neighborhood, so it's a very concerning matter.
Police are reminding residents to be cautious when walking around the area.
Avoid any dark areas. Try and walk in well-lit areas. Obviously, when you can, walk with a friend.
My daughters, and they already know, no walking by themselves, and they're not going to be out this late.
We can't walk by ourselves, and we have to stay together.
Police are also investigating a sexual assault that happened earlier this month on Cliffhofer Road or Avenue. They're not sure if that is related to the incidents from this week. Anyone with information is asked to call Buffalo Police. Reporting live, Rachel Bonjovi, News 4 at 10.
Rachel, thank you. And tonight we have learned 2 men were involved in a shooting in the first block of Cornwall Avenue, just off East Ferry. It happened late this afternoon. Buffalo police say the 2 men's injuries are not life-threatening. They were both being treated at ECMC. Call police if you have any information.
The illegal flow of controlled substances over that border is a very real threat, even here in Western New York.
48 kilograms of cocaine are off the streets tonight following a multi-statewide drug bust. The U.S. Attorney's Office arrested 3 men who they say were members of a large-scale cocaine distribution organization and had direct connections to Mexico. Investigators say the drugs were smuggled from Mexico into Arizona, then distributed throughout the country. A traffic stop in Illinois led them to the drugs. 30 kilograms were headed to Chicago and 18 to Buffalo. 67-year-old James Wilkie and 47-year-old Remus Nowak were arrested in Illinois. The third suspect, 51-year-old Fernando Rodriguez, was arrested at an auto shop in Kenmore after fake cocaine was delivered there.
The misery associated with the lives harmed by the drugs flowing across that southwest border extends right up here into Buffalo. We will remain vigilant in our effort to stem the flow of those drugs at every point along the way.
All 3 men are in federal custody tonight. They're each charged with conspiracy to possess with the intent to distribute over 5 kilos or more of cocaine. 2 young girls are missing tonight. I wanted you to see their pictures. Buffalo police shared this picture of 11-year-old Tyasia Robinson on their Facebook page. She's missing from an address on Guilford Street. She was last seen wearing a red coat, blue jeans, a blue book bag, and white and pink sneakers. Anyone with information on her whereabouts is asked to call 911. And this 15-year-old girl is also missing tonight. Halima Allen is missing from an address on East Utica Street. She was last seen wearing a black bomber jacket. Anyone with information on her whereabouts is also asked to call 911. I've also posted both of the girls' pictures on my Twitter and Facebook pages. Please share them now to help Buffalo police. A man from Niagara County who went to jail for threatening then-President Barack Obama is going to prison again for a threat against President Donald Trump. The feds say this man, 20-year-old Jared Brown, will spend 2 years in prison for threatening to kill then-President-elect Trump in December. He called the Lockport City Police Department. At the time of the call, Brown was on supervised release after serving a 15-month sentence for threatening former President Barack Obama when Brown was just 18 years old. Coming up next at 10, firing back, President Donald Trump takes aim at the media while top White House officials deny a developing report.